Are you tired of frequent meltdowns? I've got 7 calming strategies that really work in preventing meltdowns. Hi, I'm Sue from How to Help My Child, and I can't wait to help you and your family with reducing the meltdowns. Now, we know that frequent meltdowns cause anxiety and stress, not just in your child, but also in your family, and especially, Mum, with you. One of my customers, Carla, wrote in and said to me that the meltdowns seemed to be coming out of nowhere and they were leaving her feeling helpless. Can you relate to that, Mum? When meltdowns just happen, you don't know what's the cause of them, what the triggers are, or how to help your child. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, and as a mum, you feel so helpless. So we put some calming techniques together to help stop these meltdowns for Billy. And Carla wrote back and said to me, Sue, those calming, deep breathing, and sensory toys really helped Billy calm down before he reached the explosion and the meltdown. Thank you. I'm so grateful. We've got 7 tips today that you can try to help your child in preventing meltdowns. The first one is to use deep breathing exercises. Now, when you can teach your child some simple deep breathing exercises, it can help them calm down before they start to feel overwhelmed and that the meltdown takes control. Here are 3 simple exercises to try. They can do snake breathing and make a sound just like a snake. They can do bunny breathing, which is 3 quick breaths in their nose like a bunny and 1 out, like this. So you can tell them to use their bunny nose, and that can help too. As well, you can teach your child to do a triangle, and that's 3 breaths in, hold it for 3, and out for 3, because a triangle has got 3 sides. So it goes like this: hold, and you can use a triangle sign when you teach your child. So you might go, okay, here's the first step. Breathe in for 3, hold for 3, and blow out for 3. And that might really help your child. So there's just 3 quick and easy deep breathing exercises. Now, I've got so many more. Once your child can do some deep breathing, that can help reduce their stress and their anxiety and help them to regain their control before their emotions escalate. Now, the second thing to try with your child is to introduce some sensory tools and fidgets. You notice I didn't call them sensory toys because they're a tool and your child needs to learn them as a tool. So you need to get some sensory tools and find out which ones work best with your child. You might find a stress ball or some textured objects. You might find having a fidget spinner, having some material that's silky smooth, something that's soft that they can put on their face. Maybe having a weighted blanket might help. But you find the sensory tool that works best with your child. It's really important here to know that they need to calm your child, not hype your child. So there's no point giving little Johnny a sensory ball if he's going to throw it around and get into trouble using it. You want to give him something that he can use in his pockets or in his lap that can just start to help calm him down before the sensory overload takes over and he ends up in a meltdown. Teaching your child to stay calm and focused is a step in the right direction. The third step to try in preventing these meltdowns is to create a calm down corner. Now, that's a space in your home or at school where your child can go to calm down when they're starting to feel a bit worked up, a little bit anxious, a little bit aggravated, or a bit overwhelmed. Sensory corners can have lots of things. It can be a tent that they can crawl into, can have a beanbag in there or a pillow that they like to lay on, can have some calming colors and some sensory items like a soft blanket, maybe some noise cancelling headphones, perhaps a visual timer. You might have some lights in there, some fairy lights that help dim the bright lights and just create a little bit of ambience. What you're doing is creating a space that is safe, that they can generally cocoon into. So when our children are getting worked up, that's what they need to do, feel safe, but also that's calming and it's starting to help them Just take some breaths, just slow down, and to reduce that sensory overwhelm. Fourth thing that will help your child, particularly your child with ADHD and autism, to recognize their triggers is to have a predictable routine. That sounds like fun. I have got a video earlier on routines that you might like to have a look at. But the first thing to do is to be consistent, mum. When you have a daily routine that provides structure and predictability for your child, it takes away the anxiety, takes away what's next? What am I doing? I want to do this. You're making me do that. I don't know where I'm going. Takes all of that away. So, consistent daily routines and predictability are really important. You might use some schedules or some timers to outline their day and particularly their transitions so they know what's coming next. That way, your child can prepare their body and get ready for the next activity. If you stick to regular meal times and bedtimes and any other routines that you have in your family, this will help your child prepare and to plan and to know what's happening next. Now, the benefit of predictability and routines is that it helps reduce that anxiety because it lets your child know what to expect, what comes next, and what is later. Makes it easier for them to transition, and then there are no unexpected events, so they get overwhelmed. When your child knows what's coming next, they prepare their body. If they're doing something now they don't particularly like, they can look forward to what's coming next. If it's something they don't like that's coming next, they can see after that is something that they do like. You'll know that particularly with our children that are neurodivergent or younger and have struggles with communicating, that it's transitions that cause meltdowns. By keeping it predictable and routine helps your child with that. Teaching and using emotional regulation strategies is tip number 5. If you can help your child identify their emotions and then manage and self-regulate their emotions, you'll find they're going to be a bit calmer. Using an emotion chart can often help your child label and identify their feelings, and then you can discuss those triggers with them. There's nothing wrong with feeling angry, but identified anger gets out of control really quickly. So you might say, I can see, Sarah, you're quite unhappy that Toby took your ball. It's okay to be angry about that, but we might want to go and talk to Toby and ask him to give it back to you, please. So you're teaching them it's okay to have that feeling, to own that emotion, but to work through it and not stay in there. Now, a fantastic way, Mum, is to role play different scenarios and to reinforce these techniques. I like catching the moments. You might be people watching and comment with your child about what they're doing, or you might see something on YouTube or a movie on TV that you can talk through with your child and say, can you see that what they said made them really sad? How would we work through that? So finding those moments to teach your child to identify and to regulate through emotions is really important. Number 6 in preventing meltdowns is quite simple, but it's something that's often missed. Incorporating physical activity and movement. Is your child getting enough physical activity in their day? Are they getting outside enough? Are they moving? Or are they just stuck inside on screens, getting angrier and angrier? Now, when your child spends enough time in their day outside, in the fresh air, moving, being children, running about, you'll find that they get to release their excess energy, and that helps reduce stress, not just for the child, but for you too, Mum. So things like jumping on a trampoline, playing in the playground, you might go swimming if the weather's good. You could even do some yoga with your child. But things that you can do that are exploring outdoors and having your child move. Even walking to the shops rather than just driving is something that can help reduce those stressful times when your child just explodes into a meltdown. So make sure that your child is getting enough movement, particularly outdoors. The final thing in preventing are those meltdowns. Number 7 is to use visual and auditory cues. Now, you all know I love visual schedules and timetables because they just help reduce the anxiety in your child. They show very simply and easy what they're doing now, what's coming up, and what's next. It's really simple, but you know in your day what you are going to do. Often our children do not know, particularly our younger children, and we just expect them to grab them from here and move them to here. It causes meltdowns. Transitions are a really simple thing to work through, but a very, very strong emotion. Using visuals and auditory cues really help. You might have a visual schedule that you like to use, maybe a timer, or even some social stories to explain the upcoming activities and transitions. You might even play their favorite song to pack up their toys and put them away. I know we often do that in schools, and once your child hears their song, they know, oh, it's pack up time, and off they go and do what is expected. Reducing anxiety by helping your child feel more in control and using visuals or auditory cues can really help. Using these 7 calm down techniques can help reduce your child's overwhelm, their anxiety, their stress, and prevent the meltdowns. I've used them with many, many, many families successfully, and we can do it with you too. It creates more peace and more joy. You have a harmonious home for all of you, and that's what family is about. So, if you'd like to comment below meltdowns, I will send through to you recognizing the difference between meltdowns and tantrums. It's really quite simple, but again, there's 7 steps for that too. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm Sue from How to Help My Child. It has been really great helping you learn how to slow down those melt and prevent them completely. I'll see you tomorrow.